Have you ever wondered how to get that perfectly smooth and even coat of underglaze on your pots? Ever struggled and wondered why they came out washy or blotchy? We're going to do that today because a lot of it is prep work. So we're going to go through prepping that pot, painting that pot, and getting it just right so that you know what you're going to get. So join me. We're starting now. We have a nice bisque piece here. I just got it out of the kiln. It's all bisque. It's beautiful. The first step you're going to want to do, very first step, it is dusty. It is dusty. And dust is not the friend of glaze. It is going to get between the pot and the glaze. It's not going to stick. It's not going to get an even color. Now you can wipe it with a sponge like I'm doing here, or you can dip the whole thing in water, swish it around in a big tub, pull it out, set it out, let it dry. This is nice and clean, and I'm gonna let it dry for a few minutes because I didn't dump it. This is almost ready to go. This is not dusty. It is a little dusty. So again, wipe it. You see how I'm wiping it and see how quickly it dries? But it's ready. So first step, done. On to the next. So we're going to be discussing now tools. And some of your best tools are going to be ones that you know, that you've used. So get in there and practice using these. Use them as often as you can. The ones that you really love, take care of. I usually take care of mine. So these are great. These nice and poofy. These are from Amico. They know how to put on glaze. These do a great job with glaze, underglazes, overglazes, all of that. Great for thick washes of even coats. So this is going to be your best friend. Another one, a thick, nice mop. I think this is called a mop. I'm a painter, I should know. But this is great for doing dapples of color. Dapples, don't you love it? This is the same way. And yeah, this looks a little crazy, but sometimes I use that. You see that detail in there? Sometimes comes in handy. Another little round brush. Look at this. Look at that detail. When this gets wet, it's a little line of color. Beautiful! The same with this one. Beautiful. It's great for details. These are just great to have along when you've got that odd little area you've got to get into. And this probably cost me like, I don't know, 5 cents. Who knows? Expensive, inexpensive, use them all. They're tools. So get your hands on some brushes, a big array of brushes, and practice on newspaper or newsprint with just water. Maybe you can add some food coloring in. Get it wet, dab it off. Find out what marks these make. I should make another video about that. What marks each of these type of brushes make. So get familiar with your tools. Next. There's a lot of different underglazes out there and a lot of manufacturers that do it. Let me see, this is Amico, and I do use a lot of Amico. You can tell I have some here. Oh, I've got more Amico, let's go. And you can tell how much I love these by how nasty dirty they are. Well, they're not dirty, they're just messy. But I also have Speedball, and I love them as well. Wait, always before you shake your underglaze, make sure that top is on good. You don't want to know how I learned that. It was a hard lesson to learn and a messy one. You've got your brushes picked out for the texture of your piece. Now you have to look at the glaze itself, and I want you to listen to this. Ugh, that's going to be goopy, goopy, goopy. Let's look at it. Let's look at it. It's been a while since I've used this. It's brown, and I don't usually use brown. I don't use a lot of it. Let's pick a back end, and oh, we don't even have to stick it. It looks like throwing slip, or I could throw this almost. This needs water and shaking and really mixing up. I could not paint with this the way this is. So this would have to be adjusted, right? So let's show you what glaze should look like. I've got a beautiful new chartreuse, Amico. Make sure that top is on. Shake it up. Now shake it up until your arms hurt and you think you've shaken it up enough. And then shake it some more. Now, okay, let's open this up. Oh my goodness, look at that. Oh, silky smooth. And I want you to look at the difference. I'm gonna stick this in. Beautiful drippy. Ooh! Now, after I mix it up, and I mix it up to my arm hurts, and then I mix it up some more, I stick, maybe you can use a mixing stick, maybe you can have a paint stir off to the side, but I just use the back of a brush because I don't plan. I have what? I use what I have. So I stick that all the way to the bottom, and I see if there's any sludge. I see if there's any thick pieces of the underglaze that are down at the bottom. This, there is not. It's perfectly, it's beautiful. This is ready to go. Who doesn't love a good paper plate? Oh my gosh, Patricia, you're using a paper plate? Heck yeah. Okay, let's go ahead and apply to our clean piece. It's been... Now I'm gonna load up this brush. I did run it through water and I got most of the water out. And now I'm just loading that brush up. Look at that. Oh, that is nice and loaded. You can see how thick that is. It's loaded up, and I go ahead and I get the piece ready. And I just start at one end and go down to the next. And I don't go too, I don't run it till it's dry. I put on a nice coat. I reload, right? Beautiful. Switch it around. Reload. Oh, a little drip, no problem. Okay. We're gonna let this dry. Now, remember I told you that we're going to use different brushes for different texture, and you really do have to think about that. Before you glaze, you need to think about how you're going to deal with different textures. So this does have a texture, and it's pretty deep. You can see it's pretty deep. It goes in there pretty good. So I'm going to use a different kind of brush. Now I'm going to go in. Again, I load up my brush. It's nice and loaded. Now I'm going to go in here. I want you to see. I'm loading that up. And I'm turning it over. Now that is going to get that in there pretty good. Then I can go over top of it. That's a good coat. I'll let it dry. Now you want to let these dry completely until they're not shiny anymore. And let's look at this one. First coat usually dries pretty quickly. Let's look at this. It's dry, but there's some edges that are wet. Do you see the edges? Yeah. I'm gonna let it dry a little bit more, simply because I don't want to pick that color up with my brush, in the wet spots. And it could. It more than likely will. So I'm gonna let this dry a little longer. And this is gonna take a little bit longer. So the next step is to wait. All right, this is dry. It's time for the second coat. Now some people will go away and do something, and they'll come back and be like, did I do 2 coats? Did I do 1? After you finish the first coat, on your paper plate, on your table somewhere, put a little dash. 1 coat. Second coat, put the second dash. You're gonna forget, I'm telling you. Or maybe it's just me and I'm menopausal. I don't know. I do know it's menopause. Okay, here we are. Again, load that brush up. It's beautiful. Let's put that second coat on. Again, the smoother you are with these coats, the smoother the coat will be, of course. And I'm just gonna come through and just beautiful coat. Beautiful coats. Oh, let me mark it. Second coat done. Now again, I'm gonna use the same brush with the same technique. So I'm gonna go in here and push just slightly. Now the glaze will have gotten into those areas pretty good. So maybe you don't have to push so much in. And on the bottom, I'll just do the same. Yeah. Second coat done. Oh. Second coat. Now I've been asked, Patricia, can you dry the piece? Like say I'm waiting for this piece to dry. Can you dry it with a heat gun? Can you dry it with a hair dryer? I think you can get cracking, and I don't recommend that. I use my heat gun and a hair dryer when I'm throwing. For this, you know, your best tool really is just patience with most of pottery. It's knowing when to do something and when not to do something. So we are actively not doing something right now. We are waiting. Let's do our third coat together. Now, I did each and every one of these coats this way. You can do maybe, you know, one coat that way, just as long as it's nice and even with a smooth, even stroke and a smooth brush and smooth, well-mixed underglazes. Ooh, let's do our third coat here. Again, load up that brush. One more wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. I don't have to wiggle as much on this one, this last one, because it's gotten into those crevices. Now I'm just making sure that it gets the high tops and it's a good coverage. Look at all this waste. Oh yes, now I take my brush and I clean the other brush, right? Doo doo doo, boop boop boop. Put that in the water now. This is the beauty, the absolute beauty of using a paper plate. My mom would be so proud. My mom would be so proud. Now I'm gonna take this. I'm gonna fold it up. Do you see that? Do you see that? Oh my gosh, it's a funnel. Patricia! Patricia! We all know how much things cost these days. So there you have it. Go and do it, because I know you can.